Carnival, brought to you by Tab. We're on. You win some, you lose more.
My name's Sam Freeman. I'm a horse trainer. I've been training.
And JD with the 3 head trainers here at Lindsay Park.
I'm Calvin McAvoy, racehorse trainer based here in Victoria.
Okay, that's good.
My father's Anthony Freeman. My uncle's Lee. I've got Michael, Richard. They're all brothers, so I've come from a family that's been in racing for quite a long time. She feels okay? Yep.
The pioneer, and then it's passed through quite a number of different people, from our Uncle Peter to Dad, and now to us. And there was also Tony McAvoy.
My father, Tony McAvoy, he's been training quite a while. He worked for the famous Lindsay Park family for about 40 years.
Behind them, here's
Mackay Diva was probably the mare that probably lit a spark in me.
What a champion becomes a legend! Mackay Diva has won it
From that moment, I think, Anthony, my father, he would probably say from then, I was always obsessed with the game. Yeah, okay, Matt? Yeah, good. She feels okay, Bronte? She's okay?
Yeah, she's good.
For us, it's definitely a passion that's sort of probably been cultured from a young age, but yeah, it's certainly a lifestyle, not a job.
Coming through with my old man being a trainer, it presented a good opportunity, and we're very lucky. Sam Freeman the same, the Hayes boys the same. It's a hard game to get support and to build a business. I can speak for myself and also those boys that we're coming in very privileged, but you still need to work hard and get results.
For me, it's been a case of, you've got a foot in the door now, smash the door down and make the most of it.
Without a fight, Mark Zara, a Melbourne Cup champion.
For Anthony and Sam Freeman, the Melbourne Cup tradition continues.
To see Sam and Calvin and Tony and all having success is just great to see. They're essentially really good family friends, so like always, you love to see them do well, and we also love to beat them.
Hayes boys and I played footy together at Angaston. They were a little bit better than me, but I feel like I helped their careers a bit.
Calvin's best attribute on the footy field was his banter. Yeah, he had the quickest tongue on the footy field. If Calvin was a horse, he probably couldn't quite make city grade. He'd probably be looking for a weaker jurisdiction.
That's where the Hayes boys are. Which one of the 3 turn up?
I've known Calvin since we were pretty much in nappies. We used to get thrown into a hotel room at the Magic Millions horse sale. They're playing G1 Jockey on the PlayStation.
There was quite a few family holidays up at the Gold Coast there at the sales, when plenty of banter to pull from because we've known each other since we were knee-high to a grasshopper.
If those boys turned up to a yearling sale as a yearling, they'd probably be $1 million yearlings. Yeah, they're great guys.
Yeah, it's quite funny because Dad had to take on the 3 Freeman brothers back in their generation, but now Sam's got to take on us 3.
We've grown up with it. We were never pushed into this industry at all. I remember Dad saying, once you commit, you have to commit. If you treat it like your life and your passion, that's when you enjoy it, and then it doesn't become work.
It's a special game, it's a hard game, but the thrills that it can bring, I don't think you can find that anywhere.
What a great story, and of course, you look at the Cummings family on Derby Day. Part 53 winners, his father James 9, his son James 9, grandson James, I'll have another go, Jim, his father 4, and Anthony 4 for a total of 70. But today's the first day in 68 years, going back to 1957, that no member of the Cummings family has a runner here at Flemington on Derby Day. So an amazing run for the Cummings family comes to an end today. What a great story it has been. Bart with 53, James 9, Jim 4, and Anthony 4 on Derby Day. Speaking of Derby Days, we go to... Oliver narrates. To become the second woman to win the Melbourne Cup, and only the 13th horse to win the double between the Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup double. I mean, there's so much happening there. She's an amazing athlete, isn't she?
She is, and a role model for so many young girls. You see them, I see them all the time, saying that they look up to Jamie Mellom, and look, you don't win Group 1 races by fluke, and she's won 18 of them. And she's just a horse person, you know what I mean? Horses run for her. There's great jockeys around the world, and there's really great horse people, and she's got both of them.
And she's a wonderful person, isn't she?
Great person, yeah.
Well, mate, you've been wonderful. I love the way that you have continued to give of yourself. You're singing, being out amongst the crowds, taking the cup back to Ireland, doing all not only the PR as such, but actually just enjoying everything that has come with your Melbourne Cup victory. And you've got a couple more days to be the Melbourne Cup winning jockey, and you never know, you might go back to back.
You never know. And I'd just like to apologise to my mother for not shaving my moustache. She'll be watching this and she'll be very angry at me.
What does she want it off?
It's Movember starts today, so it's for mental health for the boys, so never too weak to speak, boys, just if anyone's listening.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like me having a moustache. But...
And in the meantime, your dad, who was here with a cup lunch last year, he's up in the committee room at the moment, hobnobbing with all the big names.
Somewhere, and he was chatting to Black Caviar's owners earlier on, and I was just looking around, I'm just thinking, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Robbie, you're a star, buddy.
Good man, thanks a million.
We'll see you again, we'll see you on Tuesday.
What's my instructions for the race Tuesday now?
Don't go before the clock tower.
Easy.
Okay.
Done. I'll get the job done.
Just listen to me, okay? We'll make it back to back. This time, make sure you get the check in the mail, okay?
It's in the mail.
Derby Day historically has been the premier race day in Australia. The best horses all turn up, the best jockeys, the best trainers.
Truly a day that brings everyone together. Like, you've got the fashionistas, you've got the everyday Australians going, you've got the racing purists. It's just a great show. It's non-stop entertainment from when the gates open to when the last race is run.
50 metres to go, it's all isthmus.
The Victoria Derby for 3-year-olds is the ultimate test for a young horse. Usually the classiest horse wins the Victoria Derby.
I love Derby Day. It's my favourite day of the year.
Those races so hard. You look at the calendar and the planning horses. I looked at a Derby Day and how good is my horse? The best.
Gold Rush Guru for South Australia, and Gold Rush Guru won the Derby.
There's so much history involved in this race, and I just love how classy we still keep it. We have black and white. It's very, very old school still.
Victoria Derby Day, 1976, and with very pleasant weather prevailing on the day, racegoers made the best of it.
It's a great staying test for the 3-year-olds, and it always brings out a future Melbourne Cup contender, and that's going to be no different this year.
A lot of racing purists would say it's the best day of racing.
Derby Day is a very special day. I was in partnership with my father and we won it. I think it's the biggest win ever in the Derby, a horse called Lion Tamer.
Lion Tamer racing right away. He'll win the Derby by about 6 lengths.
Melbourne Cup Day is the pinnacle in terms of the race, but Derby Days for racing and sporting purists probably equals, if not surpasses, Melbourne Cup Day.
And now Efficient, he's swapping them the favourite and comes away, and Efficient scored brilliantly.
It's just a great week to be attending the races in Melbourne.
Every now and again, that Derby throws up a superstar, and we might see one today, who knows?
Yeah, Greg Miles has got it right. There it is, the Howden Victoria Derby. And it has been building up all day. It has been magnificent. The weather has just warmed up gradually through the day. The fashions on the field have been fantastic. Kids and families, the horses, everything you could possibly want on a day for the classics has been in evidence here today at Flemington. It is really just a spectacular start to what is going to be another 3.5 days of great racing, with the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday for Lexus, the Crown Oaks on Thursday, and then Champion Stakes for TAP on Saturday, with the 3 big races for $3 million to finish off what is an amazing carnival. We might get some weather in between, but in the meantime, let's just enjoy what we have and look at that for just an amazing scene. You can see the hats are starting to come on as the sun starts to get a little bit hotter here. The tab caps at the green there, but all the way through the course, it is just joy, happiness, and sophistication and fun. So now let's get to the real business of what we're all about, and that is the $2 million Howden Victoria Derby over 2,500 metres. Let's head to James Bracey and the team in the mounting yard for this classic.
Thank you so much, Ed. Ticking all the boxes on this Victoria Derby day to kick off the 4 days of the carnival. And it is a sight. The 2,500 metre Howden Victoria Derby just moments away. Michelle, Ali and Gator are all ready to dissect the big one. But it's Mark Zara who comes in with the spring in his step, Michelle. You look at his form today, those 3 straight wins, and he is absolutely buzzy at the moment. On board, get a good feeling. Warney and then Tintaris in the first of the Group 1s, the Coolmore Stud Stakes. And now is he and a lot of others are fancying his chances on the back of Observer in the Derby.
Yes, they always say as a jockey you've used up all of your luck, but as a jockey you're like, God no, you're in the zone, you're flying, you're focused. You don't have time in between runs to be thinking, oh, have I used up my luck? You're ready for the next one, and Mark will just be so excited that he's on a run.
Of course, the bigger the race, we end up today with our biggest field so far as well. Plenty of competition out there for him, Ali, as we have a look at our starting list for today's second Group 1.
Well, this is what makes this race so intriguing and so classic, because none of these horses have seen the trip yet, so we can look back through their breeding to see if they're able to run out the trip. We can look back through their form. Of course, we've dissected that, but ultimately we need to find a winner, don't we?
Yep, that's the plan, Ali, and you're right. They haven't tested that sort of endurance, those depths of endurance yet, and they're such young athletes too. So, yeah, but Mark's in great form. I mean, he can go forward, he can go back, and I wonder what he'll do on Observer. Drawn a good draw, perfect gate for that horse. You heard, I got it out. I think they'll just take a sit in behind, help him run the trip.
Is Observer the real deal, Ali?
I think he is, and what we always sometimes overlook with Kieran Maher, and yes, perhaps he was obviously eased down to the line here, and maybe you would have liked him to have a good hit out here in his most recent run, but the thing with Kieran Maher is that he always has them spot on physically, and I'm told, Michelle, that he's a very clean-winded horse. He's got great aerobic capacity.
I think also with that, Ali, when you see a horse ease down like that, he wasn't all out. He's had a good hit out. Mark asked him for an effort, and then he eased him down. The horse has had a beautiful day out at the races. When you have these stepping stones with these 3-year-olds going to a 2,500 metre derby, it's all that preparation along the way. So, to be honest, it looks like it's perfect for him. It's just whether he can stay the trip, but he just looks to have all the class that you need.
Ali, you're true to form here. You've gone a little wide again, trying to find some value for our punters at home.
Look, Brace, if you don't have a crack on Derby Day, when will you? So I've gone with some previous form of Waller, actually. A similar story with Preferment, his 2014 Derby winner coming out of a Geelong Classic, and I just thought this horse had so much more to offer, albeit it was against the pattern as well, and when he finally got out, the way he hit the line suggests to me that he is right on target for the 2,500, and as you mentioned, Michelle, that's what's so important.
Exactly, it's such an open derby. We've got so many live chances, but you see here, Betty Mellon really hitting the line strongly here. It was a good run classic, so it was a test of stamina, but there's just so many chances, and I think it's just going to be such a great race.
We're about to see those first 3 finishes all feature here in the Derby as we set the scene with Cheska.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, like you guys were discussing there. What kind of a derby are we going to get? Are they going to set a bit of a tempo here? Is it going to be a test of stamina? Or are we going to see what we think is the best horse just win? And that would be Observer. I'm going to have a look at him in a minute. But what about the crowds here today? Have a look at that. Up at the club stand. Here we get slightly more to the professionals in here by the mounting yard. These are all the connections with their horses about to run in one of the most important races of the year. It is all set to play out, and I need to go and have a look at these thoroughbreds.
Most certainly do. You stay right where you are, Cheska. We're going to fire up the engine for our eliminator, and Gator, Ali, and Michelle, if you're brave enough, take on the algorithm.
Unbelievable, this result, Gator, isn't it? Observer and Providence, the only two hopes that the Eliminator have given us.
Yeah, they've been brave. I'm going to add in Options, who was luckless in that replay we just saw behind Observer and Co. And think O'Shamus, the 9, looks a genuine stayer. So, yeah, perhaps you've got to throw in your roughie, though.
Oh, of course. Savvy Santa has to go in there. We can't not have him in there. And O'Shamus, as you mentioned, I'm with you there. So it looks as though it's the Vars form and then my roughie, Savvy Santa.
All right, you've given us some options as we head to the mounting yard and go through the field for the running of the Victoria Derby today over 2,500 metres. Observer, the first to have a look at Ali, race favourite, and of course, we know why.
Oh, he's obviously the one to beat, isn't he? And as we talked about, this interesting fact with his aerobic capacity, so he just can suck in so much air, and that's such an important part for a horse going forward to 2,500. It's just like a marathon runner, really, isn't it, Cheska?
Yeah, it sure is, Ali. Now, what am I saying about him in the mounting yard? Well, he's a good stamp of a horse. He's not particularly big. On pedigree, Guy at his sire suggests a bit of staying power there. But what's going to happen tactically? Do you see how he wears this Norton bit here? Now, he can be a little bit keen. That'll give the jockey a little bit more control. We think he's the best horse in the race, but he needs to settle and get the trip.
High Vol, the next to have a look at. Gator just missed in the Geelong Classic.
Look, he was brave. He led at an even speed, but then up the ante, probably 800 from home. And he had the 60 kilos, so he meets all those from that race much better at the weights here.
Autumn Mystery, Ali, chasing the third win on the trot.
And wouldn't it be a fantastic story for this young trainer, a son of the autumn sun, gets the right jockey aboard and coming into this off a win over 2,000.
Miwa, always in the finish, Michelle.
He is. He's been building up to this derby beautifully. He presents here really well. As you can see, he's just got a really lovely staying walk on him. He's been a bit unlucky in the past, but Flemington will suit him, and he looks outstanding here today.
All right, next have a look at Gator. Options, Harry Coffey with the ride today.
Well, he beat key rival, Miwa, 2 runs ago, and it was probably all on as him. Then went to the Vars, the Valley race, and just didn't have much luck at a key stage, so we didn't really get the opportunity to open throttle and tie the form together.
Gator, of course, Providence, second in the Vars at Moonee Valley.
Well, he was the one charging home. Look, I know Observer was eased down, but I don't think he handled the tight Moonee Valley track all that well, yet his last 200 section on the day was elite, relative to some good older horses. So I think getting to Flemington big track in 2,500, I'm Team Providence.
You as well, Francesca?
Well, I'm just having a good look at him here, and I think he had a hard enough race last week trying to run down Observer. He is an 8-start maiden, just remember that, and I wonder if he's had a few hard runs as preparation, because he's just looking a fraction on the light side for me.
All right, over to Michelle, and Azaziel has been enjoying a great spring with Michael D in the saddle.
He has, but a bit similar to what Cheska said about Providence, he's a bit light as well. Might be the type of horse that he is. He's on his toes, so he's not the type of horse you would say specifically he's a staying type, but he looks very healthy in his coat, but yeah, it'd be an interesting watch for him.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Ali, Cora, looking for an improved performance today.
Absolutely. I'm not against that Geelong Classic form. Obviously, I like Savvy Santa, but that was the horse that I took out of that race.
O'Shamus, the Connections Gator, be happy with what they've seen of late?
Yeah, for sure. I like the way he found the line in the Vars. He raced tight at a key stage. You'd think he'd eat 2,500. Good value hope here.
Ali Yamazaki is chasing its first wins.
Yeah, so fourth up into the preparation off a 2,000-metre run coming through that autumn mystery form. I thought was solid enough.
Engine of War, and found the going pretty tough over the 2,000 metres last start, Gator.
Yeah, I think they went forward, and it was to Horse's detriment. When he was ridden colder, as in further back, prior to that here at Flemington, he ran really well, so he could improve here at a decent price.
To the yard with Cheska. Matsuda Cheska, a win at Sale 2 starts back, catching the eye.
Plenty to do on form, James, with Matsuda, but I've got to say, I was going through the pedigrees for this horses, and I realised his dam is called Courtesan. Turns out I used to own the mare, and I sold her in foal to this guy, so that's quite a strange occurrence, but good luck to the team here. He's a big, good-looking individual, but he can be a little bit one-paced.
One step closer. Ali looking to take one big step today.
I like that. I've seen this horse on numerous occasions, and to be honest, it's the best that I have ever seen him parade. Very laid back today too.
And you want to double down on Savvy Santa while you've got the opportunity?
Oh, I absolutely do. I'm going to go again. I am interested to see how he parades, so I'd like to hear Michelle's thoughts, but as I've said, I just feel it's a very similar setup to Preferment in 2014.
And Michelle, you've got your eyes on Ali's pick.
He does look good, actually. He presents very well, and I'm here now with Savvy Santa. It's not a lot of this horse. It's interesting when you get here alongside them race day. He's very healthy and well, but I did think others presented a bit better.
Third start for McWoody, Gator.
It's not easy, is it, to win a marathon off such a short preparation. Start number 3, and he draws awkwardly, but he was rock solid in that Norman Robinson. The level of improvement into this is the obvious key.
And our final runner, Francesca, deal done fast. One that's a little close to home for you too.
Yes, this feels like a yearly occurrence, doesn't it? With a Matt Kamani runner in the Derby. Now he's run 3 times and he's yet to win a race, so he does need to improve. He finished in a cluster in that Norman Robinson, but if there's one horse who is bred to stay the trip, it is this horse. It is a 2,500 metre race. He's got plenty of stamina on his side. Now here we have all the jockeys and trainers banked up waiting to put their jockeys on their mounts. Here is my brother, so let's have our yearly catch-up in the mountain yard ahead of the Derby. This is a race that you like to target and have come close in before, isn't it?
Yes, we came second very frustratingly back in 2020, beaten by a footy legend in Dennis Pagan, so I didn't mind that too much, but now it's just getting ridiculous. We really need to win it. We came 4th last year, and I'm hoping this horse, as a rough outsider, could do it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He is a bit of a roughie. What makes you think that he's in with a squeak?
Well, you don't really know with these horses, do you? There's so little form that it's impossible to really tell, but I think he's a really progressive horse. He's one that's found to love the distance. We saw him really tough in his last few races. He's improving all the time. Whether he's quite ready this prep, maybe next prep, but I'm certainly hoping to see him strong to the line.
Okay, well, your dad and my dad won 2 derbies at Epsom. It's about time you won one of these. Good luck.
Thanks very much.
Good on you. Sis giving it to bro right there in the mounting yard as we get a tap market update with Jared.
Race, the bookies are on the ropes heading into the Derby. If Observer wins here, it may well be a knockout. 2.30 into 2.10. Very heavily backed here, although respect for the bets for Providence. Clearly best back to beat it. $7.50 into $5. Order Mystery, $18 on Wednesday. $10 now. Options has just been 10 back to 12 at odds. Each way support for O'Shamus and Savvy Santa. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website. So Ali be happy to hear that money for Savvy Santa, and Providence very well backed for Gator as well.
Brilliant. There we have it. Ali and Gator very confident about their picks. Cheska, your final word.
Now, if you like the favourite, I wouldn't put you off him. Observer does look really good. I had actually picked on paper O'Shamus as a bit of an outsider, but I've got to say I didn't like what I saw in the mounting yard. I think Options has a lot of positives, and he looks really well in the yard.
Brilliant stuff. All in readiness for the running of the Howden Victoria Derby over 2,500 metres. Do not go anywhere. It's next, live from Flemington. Great to have you with us here as the Melbourne Cup Carnival really to be your pre-race favourite for the 2025 Howden Victoria Derby. The feature for today, the second of our Group 1 races, and it is just moments away. And if Observer wasn't backed heavily enough already, of course, the form of jockey Mark Zara has only added to that, having won the last 3 races. But now turning our attention to the longest of the day. And Michelle, that's the ride we're about to see our jockeys and horses take.
That's exactly right, James. So they start here at the 2,500. You've run. You really need there's a lot of pressure. We've got horses from the outside coming across. High Vol, Matsuda, they like to go forward. Azazel. I think Zara will take a sit. Personally, how it'll work out, and might suit the horse better because we don't know if he's going to be a real true stayer, but he looks the horse to just get the perfect run in the race.
Okay, let's check in with Jared now, our tab market mover.
Well, there's been some horror results for tab in races today. This would be the worst one yet. Observer, 2.30 into 2.15. I see it's odds on the Whirlpool. This has been some go.
Wow. Okay, there we go. So Observer, and I reckon the form of Mark Zara has only helped that, but not the tab. Let's head over to Billy to set the scene for us.
Yeah, incredible feel here behind the gates. There's 2 unique factors here for the Derby. The first one is the starting point. It's right in front of the grandstand. I can't see a spare spot in the grandstand or on the lawn. So for these 3-year-olds, colts and geldings, keeping them calm is really important. Also for the jockeys, it's a big moment for them. It's a Group 1 race right in front of the crowd. The other factor is, Michelle Payne just mentioned it, it's a short straight right to that first turn. So getting that economical run around that first turn is really important, but atmosphere is extremely high, James.
Yeah, good on you, Bill. Don't you duck into one of those barriers though with Sam. You're right in the thick of it there. Let's head quickly to TJ.
Thanks for that. Yeah, Kieran Maher just on the phone. Sorry, mate, hope that wasn't important.
No, just organising the day.
All right, well, what about this one? I mean, what other box can you possibly tick?
Look, he's a very good colt. He's come through his last win, the Vars, in good order. It's always a question when they go to the 25 for the first time, but he's trained on beautifully, and I think he gets a lovely run from the gate, and Mark knows him well.
Not a bad bloke to have on board today.
He seems to be riding very well, doesn't he?
Right, you got a fair bit on your plate, mate. We'll leave you to it.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Great to hear from Kieran Maher there, trainer of the Favoured Observer. Mark Zara on board. Francesca, we heard from Billy there about just how unique this one is with the start right in front of this huge crowd. You were down in the mounting yard. You got to see all the runners head out there onto the track.
Yeah, well, I actually went from the mounting yard over to the clock tower, and I stood on the rail and watched them all canter past me because they go past where the barriers are, have a bit of a warm-up, a bit of a stretch out, turn around at the top of the straight and come back to behind the barriers. And I've got to say, what I've really noticed is the way they're rattling on the ground. The ground is firm today, so they're going to want to take the track in their stride. My brother came with me. He was happy the way his horse went down. I can't really report many negatives in terms of moving to post, so we're in good shape, although that horse there, Ben Mellon's ride, was pony to post, so didn't let that one have a bit of a stretch out.
And there's your confidence rating for O'Shamus. And Observer, Michelle, you're just like so many sitting at home today when it comes to the pre-race favourite.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, as Cheska said, the ground is fast, and that helps a horse that you are.
No, just organising the day.
All right, well, what about this one? I mean, what other box can you possibly tick?
Look, he's a very good colt. He's come through his last win, the Vars, in good order. It's always a question when they go to the 25 for the first time, but he's trained on beautifully, and I think he gets a lovely run from the gate, and Mark knows him well.
Not a bad bloke to have on board today.
He seems to be riding very well, doesn't he?
Right, you got a fair bit on your plate, mate. We'll leave you to it.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Great to hear from Kieran Maher there, trainer of the Favoured Observer. Mark Zara on board. Francesca, we heard from Billy there about just how unique this one is with the start right in front of this huge crowd. You were down in the mounting yard. You got to see all the runners head out there onto the track.
Yeah, well, I actually went from the mounting yard over to the clock tower, and I stood on the rail and watched them all canter past me because they go past where the barriers are, have a bit of a warm-up, a bit of a stretch out, turn around at the top of the straight and come back to behind the barriers. And I've got to say, what I've really noticed is the way they're rattling on the ground. The ground is firm today, so they're going to want to take the track in their stride. My brother came with me. He was happy the way his horse went down. I can't really report many negatives in terms of moving to post, so we're in good shape, although that horse there, Ben Mellon's ride, was pony to post, so didn't let that one have a bit of a stretch out.
And there's your confidence rating for O'Shamus. And Observer, Michelle, you're just like so many sitting at home today when it comes to the pre-race favourite.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, as Cheska said, the ground is fast, and that helps a horse that you are questionable about running the journey because it's just easier for them. So just gives him even more ticks to his day-to-day.
And Ali, you're still as confident with your pick today too?
I liked what I saw from him in the yard. I would have liked a bit more of a give in the track, but I like the way that he conserved his energy beautifully, and he looks spot on in terms of his fitness here.
Yeah, look, he looks a million bucks, doesn't he? I think it's an Observer's best chance of success is probably a moderately run race. He's the best horse with the best change-up speed, I guess, whereas Providence and Co are looking for an endurance test.
All right, history set to be made here yet again at Flemington as we headed over to Matt for the feature.
It is Australia's oldest classic, the Howden Victoria Derby, as Matsuda is brought forward and the field is set. They are ready, signal, and they're racing in the Derby. Miwa jumped away, only fairly Observer out well was Savvy Sander. Azazel out quickly, and High Vol from the deep is also coming over. So at the winning post with a lap to go, the favourite's going to lead Observer with High Vol hunting across. Azazel kept it wide. Savvy Sander behind them from Options. Then Arcora wider. Next to Seamus, who's between horses. Deal done fast on the rails as they leave the straight from Engine of War 3 deep. One step closer on the fence, then Matsuda, Providence between horses. Amazaki well back. Then came Miwa, McWoody, and Last Autumn Mystery to the riverside. And the leader is Observer, striding out by 2 lengths. High Vol and Savvy Sander third as they approach the 1800 metres. 2 further back is Azazel. Fourth outside of Options, a length and a half. Arcora, Deal done fast. Then came O'Shamus, 1 step closer. Engine of War is 2/3 down the field and 3 wide as they continue their journey past the mile. Further back is Amazaki on the inside of horses, and then came well back in the field by Providence, and then came Amazaki, Matsuda, well back in the field, Miwa, McWoody, and Autumn Mystery to the top of the course at the 1400 metres, and Mark Zara is going to try and take luck completely out of the equation and lead all of the way in the Derby. It's Observer by about a length and 3/4 and slowed it up at Chiquita Lodge from High Vol. Savvy Sander third, and fourth is Azazel. A length Options, and then came Arcora, no speed on. Deal done fast is next, and then came O'Shamus. Around it 3 wide, Engine of War is progressing. A length 1 step closer, Providence. Matsuda around those horses. A length and a quarter, Amazaki. Then McWoody, Miwa, 2 lengths Autumn Mystery with a lot to do. So Observer led the Derby at the 900 metres, 3/4 of a length in front, and has had a cheap run from High Vol. Azazel now hooks out 3 wide, a length off the lead. Savvy Sander behind those. They were followed by Options and Arcora. Engine of War has always been wide. It's 4 deep now. Matsuda 5 deep, trying to loop them. Next in the field, O'Shamus as they start to sprint it up around the corner. Deal done fast is next, and they were followed by 1 step closer. Amazaki, McWoody hooks the widest. So it's Observer has controlled the tempo. 400 metres to go. Zara sitting pretty, led by 2 lengths to Savvy Sander. Arcora runs on. Deal done fast, and then whacking away 1 step closer. Now he calls for Observer at the clock tower. How much left at the 200 metres? A length and a half. Arcora, Deal done fast. Observer, 100 to go. Grits his teeth, led 3/4. Arcora, Observer's holding them. He's the stronger. He's the winner. Observer won the Derby. Second, Arcora. Deal done fast in a photo for third with 1 step closer. Then Savvy Sander, Providence, Miwa, Autumn Mystery. Behind them, O'Shamus, Options, Engine of War, High Vol, Amazaki, McWoody, Matsuda, and at the tail of the field, Azazel.
Wow, Observer from start to finish, simply brilliant with Mark Zara on board for win number 4 on the trot here today on Victoria Derby Day, and he does it in the feature. Back-to-back Group 1s in that as well, and that was something special, Michelle.
It sure was. He didn't do it the easy way. He actually got quite keen in front, and as you can see, he wears the Norton bit. It's already known that he's quite a keen going horse, but Mark was able to get a couple of cheap sectionals down the back, switch him off, and just what a classy galloper he is.
Well, we were watching it, weren't we? We were thinking in the early stages, is he doing a bit too much here? Because Mark looked like he would have been keener to go a bit slower, but the horse was saying, no, I'm rolling here. But like Michelle said, got a couple of cheap sectionals and then was able to kick off the bend. I mean, is it just a case of him being the best horse in the race?
I think so. I mean, Mark Zara is obviously putting on a clinic, but I loved hearing from Kieran Maher this week, and we know how he treats his horses. They all do as high-performance athletes. They've got all the stats to put on them, and just listening to what he said about his aerobic capacity and the way that this horse can just breathe and he can sustain that tempo, not many horses could they go to.
No, that's right. And look, he was so well suited in that moderately run race. I mean, you touched on it, some 14-second sectionals down the back. Really gave him a chance to relax and breathe, then give a nice strong kick. And look, he probably had enough on the line, but he was simply too good. A couple of roughies, second, third and fourth. But the winner, it's all on his winner here in the Derby.
Mark Zara, what about that? He previously had only won 3 races. That was his top at a Melbourne Cup Carnival. Well, he's just topped it. He's won 4 and he's done it on the trot. And here he is with Billy.
Mark Zara, you've won Melbourne Cups, but you haven't had a successful carnival like this one before. 4 wins on the trot and 2 Group 1s back-to-back.
Yeah, what a day. Unbelievable. It just shows, riding for the best trainers, the best horses. Manager does his job, I did my job, and what a great day.
Dictated terms out in front, and you held him together for as long as you could.
I sort of don't know whether I wanted to lead on him or not, and speaking to Kieran gave me great confidence. He's like, I've heard you say you're not sure 2100. He said, you left and well run it. So if you've got to lead, just lead, whatever you feel. And he never switches right off, you know. He's always on the bridle, but geez, he's tough. He was tough and strong. He raced exactly like his old man, and like late when one got to him, he sort of found again. It was a very good victory.
You saved his gas at the Valley those last stages. You needed him today.
That's right. It cost me $1,500, but I think I saved those few lengths for today, so absolutely.
Right, you look good in blue, mate. Go and enjoy it. How do you, Tony?
Good on you, Billy. Thanks for that. Mark Zara, cool, calm and collected. Not so much Mrs. Zara. Elise, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Like, what a day. Like, I can't even explain. He doesn't even know that I had this conversation with his manager, but I was walking the river the other day and I just voice text Reese and I said, we have not gone into a cup week with a book of rides that we've had like this ever. And he's like, yeah, I'm quietly confident, but we're not going to say anything. So we just sat really quiet. And then it just kept coming. It's the last four in a row.
It is unbelievable. But 4 in a row, and the fourth one being the Derby and the Coolmore.
We've never won the Derby here. It's so exciting. It's so exciting.
Okay, we're having a look at your reactions now. And you're with Kieran's wife, were you?
Yeah, Alice. I don't know where, because Alice and I, the last time we celebrated was when Gold Trip won the Melbourne Cup. And I said, we've actually never stood together having a favorite in a Group 1. Oh my God, I was with Alice. I was like, I've never been with Alice.
It was fantastic. Brilliant ride by Mark. Took luck out of it. You know, he's riding on a real crest of a wave, Mark. There's no one riding any better. And he's a great mate, Elise and Mark, and it's just fantastic for Godolphin to be able to train a great colt like that. He's got so much ahead of him, and he's got so much furnishing to do. So very thankful to them and very thankful to our team.
Was that always the plan from a wide?
Yeah, I said to Mark, there's no point trying to fight him. Let's just go with him. Yeah, I said he's that good. I think he's better than him, and I said you might as well ride him like it. And to Mark's credit, he had the revs up early. I was a little bit worried, but he got some nice sectionals mid-race, and that was fantastic.
It's a great day for you and the team, and well, it's only the start of the Flemington Carnival, so good luck, mate.
Thank you very much.
Well, Kieran, Mark, congratulations. What about the family affair too here this afternoon? Observer finishes ahead of Cora, and Dill done fast. You gave your brother Matt a bit of a pep talk in the mounting yard, Francesca, and finishes with a placing.
Yeah, that was great. The horse actually got a good run on the inside and was able to come with a good late run, but does not quite get there. I can see his body language. You can tell he's thrilled but disappointed at the same time.
Oh, what a moment. There he is, Mark Zara, the man of the moment. 4 straight wins and back-to-back Group 1s here on Derby Day, and of course, the latest in the feature.
Well, Howden's first time in the 176th running of the Victoria Derby as sponsor, and what a race we have been able to see. The International Star, owned by Godolphin Stables, trained by Kieran Maher, Observer, going from start to finish in front. Mark Zara said yesterday, if he was able to get halfway around without too much interference, he'd win basically with a leg in the air. And there's his wife, Elise, from Newport Beach, California. They actually met when Mark was on a boys' trip and she was on a girls' trip in Mexico City. And he says that sometimes she's the handbrake that he needs, and she knows when to pull the handbrake. But I also know they like to get out and have a big party. And he has now become only the 3rd jockey in the history of Derby Day to win 4 winners on this day. Michael Clark did it in 1990, James McDonald in 21, and again in 22. But Mark Zara's the first to do it, with one of those 4 being the Howden Victoria Derby. $2.15 and $1.30. Well, they'll need some going on Saturday, Tab, to get the money back, because it has been a great day for the punters. They have absolutely been skinning the bookmakers today. So a good day all round for the punters here. Everybody is absolutely happy, no doubt about that. And have a look at this. Mark Zara has just ridden magnificently. He came into this day having only ever had 2 wins on Derby Day. He's won the Wakeful with Get a Good Feeling, Damien Oliver with Warney, the Coolmore with 10 Tyrus has turned it into a $30 million colt, and now, or $30 million stallion when the time comes, and now he has put the Howden Victoria Derby onto the mantelpiece as well. It is just one of the great days. Kieran Maher, just the master trainer. Huge much joy here. And as we said, with Godolphin now sharing their horses around, it is just great to see the Freedmans and then Kieran Maher and everybody else having a go. He's got another ride to come yet, still to the great man Mark Zahra. So we'll see how he goes with Like a Lucy coming up for Chris Waller. All right. Yes, we're getting set for the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Just 3 days' time, all eyes will be on the race that stops a nation. The $10 million Lexus Melbourne Cup. Over 90,000 people expected on course. Great entertainments. So those tickets are selling fast. Get your tickets now at vrc.com.au. If you're enjoying today's sitting at home, you want to be here for the Lexus Melbourne Cup. And Mark Zahra, who could win riding a broomstick at the moment,
and then wins the Derby on the back of the Coolmore, having won 2 previous. So 4 straight wins, and he sets himself up nicely for a ride in the Empire Rose Stakes, our third and final Group 1 of the day, which is just moments away. Those shots, Francesca, will never get old.
No, and I love the enthusiasm from Mark's wife there. She's obviously his biggest fan, and to ride 4 in a row, including the 2 big Group 1s so far, could he make it another one?
Never know.
He's in rare air, isn't he? But you can just feel everyone's getting around him. That's what's most exciting. I think everyone on track wants this to happen.
Let's relive some of his success today. This is the Coolmore Gator. It's in Tyrus, just too good.
Yeah, well, leading into the race, I thought it was a real 3.5, maybe 4-horse race, but he made it a 1-horse race, this horse 10 Tyrus, and just peaked on the day and absolutely exploded through, ran fast time. I'm hearing echoes around the track.
It was all Mark Zahra and his mighty horse.
Well, they say keep it simple in the Derby and select the best horse. Well, he was the best horse on paper coming into it. There was a moment there where he was being pretty enthusiastic, but able just to hold on for the 2,500 metres. I think class came to the fore. More celebrations in the mountain yard for the team, and of course he has Like a Lucy for the Chris Waller stable. Next, what's James McDonald thinking in Sydney?
Well, he's just about to hop on board another horse, but I think he will be absolutely itching. He will have itchy feet to get down here and show Mark Zahra how it's done.
Well, Mark gets the opportunity now to be the first jockey to win 5 races on Derby Day, and that's on Like a Lucy, who you like a lot, Ali.
Well, Brace, let's hope he hasn't run out of his good luck here, but he has absolutely going into this airborne. So Like a Lucy is my pick of the day. I just think that she's the up-and-coming mare here. Somewhat a changing of the guard with the mares. We see Pride of Jenny and Fangirl getting a little bit older now. The only thing she's been doing wrong, Cheska, is that she's been racing a little bit, hanging her head on the sides. They've put a one-eyed blinker on her, and I'm told that in track work that worked a treat. So very much looking forward to her. She's been unlucky in both of her first 2 runs. I think she'll be right here third up.
talk about confidence, Gator. He's going to have that when he has a crack in the Cup on Tuesday too.
Well, he knows how to win that race. He's won 2 of the last 3, is it? And he's right at the top of the weights, of course, with Al Riffa. And he's the world-class athlete in that field, with respect to Buckaroo, who's a Group 1 horse any day of the week, Vauban and co. But he's the one with all the runs on the board. But that's the nature of handicap racing, isn't it? It brings him back to the field to somewhat. So it looks like he'll get a wet track, but he's in good hands in the Pilot Stakes.
Yeah, well, let's see once we've gone through the field here, and of course the draw coming later tonight. The St Ledger run by Al Riffa, which I know you were a keen observer of, Francesca.
Yeah, there he is in the Australian bloodstock colours, and you'll notice from the jockey's body language that he was the last one that had to get serious. And going into the race, I wasn't sure about him, because the race he won before this, he hadn't really beaten anything. This was much deeper company. He was helped by the fact that they went a very strong tempo on the front end. He was able just to chill out at the back and come through with a big run. He's kind of been reinvented as a stayer. Before he was more of a 1.5 mile horse. He's running an Arc de Triomphe, so now he's taking the next step to 2 miles. 2 miles top weight and potentially heavy ground.
Yep.
It's going to be a big ask.
But does have a jockey who knows how to win a cup.
That's exactly right, and that's the main thing, isn't it? And that gives you just so much confidence heading into a race like this as well. And wowee, if he has a day like he's had today, look out.
Alrighty, so while we want to talk about the Cup as much as we can during the carnival, of course, we've still got another Group 1 to come here today on Victoria Derby.